You can't buy a token and expect some kind of miracle. Yes, some tokens stay at like 100k market cap and then suddenly pump to 100 mil. You can't predict that in any way, alright? If you truly see that the coin has potential, in this video I'm gonna show you how to actually properly research a meme coin. I'm gonna show you everything from tokenomic health, rock pull risk, etc. right? Chart analysis, meaning technical analysis, and its overall potential. I'm gonna show you how you can pick up new gems that have a potential to 10x, 100x, or even more than that. So many YouTubers and meme coin traders overcomplicate it so much, but in this video I'm gonna just show you the truth that researching a token is not hard, alright? People overcomplicate it so they can get more views, so they can get more subscribers or copy traders, but I'm just gonna show you the honest truth on how to actually research it. So researching token is not hard, it's all about common sense. Okay, so for that I'm gonna come over to Tech Screener. I'm sure you know this platform. If you don't know, it's a platform where you can basically just search up meme coins, research them very easily. Alright, I'm not gonna bombard you with any of these filters because it's all irrelevant if you actually want to find a coin. Now for that I have picked a coin named Boatkit. Alright, the reason is because I just happen to like this coin, right? And I think it's pretty much the perfect example on everything you just have to look in a coin, everything that you need. Now first of all, let's start with the basics. If you open up coin, obviously the first thing you're gonna open up is the chart, so we're gonna start with that. If you're in Tech Screener, you can see that on the right here you can see things like these. You can see that there are rockets, fire, poop emojis, and red flags. Alright, that's pretty much one of the first thing I personally look at. Why? Because anyone can put a reaction here, right? I can put a rocket if I want, right? So meaning everyone can share their opinion on that. As we can see, it has almost 300, let's say likes, and 10 you know bad emojis, right? What does that mean? It's good. um, some tokens have like a very high count of red flags, and you should not ignore that. It may seem like a simple thing that, oh yeah, everyone can put a red flag here, it doesn't matter. But it does matter. Trust me, it does matter. Some tokens have a lot of red flags, and you have to, it's not about the red flags itself. You have to find the reason why there are so many red flags. People don't just put a red flag out of nowhere, right? You have to find the reason why people don't like this coin. Why does it have so many dislikes, alright? So this one is healthy, alright? Pretty good. Next thing are holders and overall tokenomics. Alright, so if we click on here, we can see that there are holders about 1,800, alright? Which is good, but it depends on the token's market cap and stuff like this. So with experience you can see what are good holder counts and what are not. Typically if the coin is rising, the holders are always increasing, so you don't have to put much attention on that. Now what you have to focus on is token holder percentages. Okay, so for that it's better to use a trading platform called Axiom, because in Tech Screener you can't buy or sell a token, alright? In Axiom it's actually a trading platform used for that, and there you can see the holder tokenomics much better. As you can see here, I can only see the holders and the top holders, but anything more I can't see. I can see top 10 holders, I can see insider holding, so Axiom is much better for that. So how to actually analyze these percentages, alright? If you're new to meme coins, this can all seem pretty messy and confusing, but don't worry, I'm gonna explain it very simply for you. Okay, so let's go over them real quick. Okay, so top 10 holders, we can see they're 50%, it's okay, it's healthy, it's good. Developer is holding 0%, which is again healthy. Snipers 0%, good. Insiders 12%, again good. Bundles good, and liquidity should always be 100% burned. We can see here the DEX is paid. Pro traders, it's not that relevant, but it still adds some value to the overall token. And one of the most important things are holders. Alright, the holders depend on the market cap of the token and the age of the token, but you should always keep an eye on holders that make sure that they are growing. Okay, so let's come back here. We went over the insider holding and the bundles. We can see that this is all healthy from the tokenomic side. One more thing you can check quickly is, the holder percentages. What you don't want to see here is many holders holding the same amount of the token, right? So yeah, that's from the tokenomic side. Now the chart, alright? I personally like to go over every support and resistance line this token has, so I could get familiar with the token, alright? This is like, for me it's kind of important, because you know the feeling when you like buy a token and you hold it for like a few days or maybe even weeks, and you're like, you know the coin, you're familiar with the coin, you know the support lines, you know the resistance lines. That's what I like to do with tokens like these, So what I personally like to do is, just go over the support lines. I can quickly show you the support lines of this token. So right now it's at the 15-minute chart. I'm not gonna start all the way over. I'm just gonna, show you the bigger support lines and resistance lines this token has. Right? If you don't know what the support or resistance line is, it's basically a line or a zone that the token is very likely to bounce. So what does that mean? Let me show you. For example, here you can see that the token consolidated at this area, a very long time, for about like 3 hours almost. So we can see that this area is where people want to take profits. We can already draw a line over here. Right, as we can see here, it consolidated here, came back, almost touched it again. So we can take about the 300k, maybe even 350k line as the resistance. We can see it tapped it once, twice, and even 3 times. All right, and 4 times. You can see when it pumped, then it pulled back a little because people sold here, and then it skyrocketed again. Right, then it came back, touched this line again. When you see once it was a peak, meaning a buy here would have been a bad choice, you can see that a few hours later buying here would have been a really good entry. So always make sure that if you're buying, it goes from the previous highs or the support lines. You don't want to just blindly buy a token. As you can see here, tapped it, consolidated here again, skyrocketed, came back to here, tapped it again, went up and tapped it, 4 times more. So that is a support line. You can see that if this coin either touched it, came back, or went through it, right? And if you can already see, we have the second support line here, right? So we can see that the first time it made the high, usually it's the first time. You can see it made the high at 600k. It came up, it tried to broke it, came to about 700k, but I'm pretty sure the top holders dumped it at here. They didn't let it, go more, so that's why it came down. That's why it made, that little of an improvement. But whatever, all right. Came here. You can see people took here profits. You can see people took profits here, all right. People took profits here again. People took profits here. Oh shit. Here again. And if we extend it, we can see that it tapped it 4 times now, 5, came back, touched the previous high, and then when it was about to break out, it consolidated on this area again, came back, made a new time high, right? Then it came back to the previous high. Remember, this was the previous high, again, previous high. And then we can see it made a new high again. And we're doing this technical analysis so we can see how the coin will likely behave in the future and how to time our buys. So I personally already am in this coin. I called this token at 400k in my Telegram group, so meaning you could have gotten a 3x, and as you can see here, it's going on a run again. But my idea is that if you are seeing this token for the first time, like for example right now, you can see it's pumping right now, but the resistance lines are very important to indicate. That's why you have to do the technical analysis before, so we can see here that this high right here, it bounced on this, made a new time high, 1.5 mil, came back, touched this, broke it, and came back to this resistance line, then came back up, got dumped, came here, and consolidated between these, and as we can see it now, it broke it. So yeah, time your buys in the support lines. That's pretty much all I gotta say about that. And for the last things, you want to make sure that the community of this token is good and that there even is a community. For that, go on to text screener and you can see the Twitter logo right here. Click here and you're in the Twitter. Alright, so what do you have to look for here? What is healthy, what is not, what is good, and what is bad? First of all, we can see that there is a actual community for this token, which is good. Alright, if a community has a token with an actual narrative, it's usually a bullish sign. But that's not all. One of the most important things I personally see is the admins of the tokens. As you can see here, if we click on the moderators, we can see all of these admins at here, right? So click on the admin and look if he's trusted. That's pretty much it. As you can see here, he has 100 followers, not followed by anyone I'm following. Joined June 2020. I personally don't know anything about this guy, so it's not a bad sign, but if the admin is well known, then it's usually much better. We can see a lot of these owners right here, so I'm not gonna check them right now, but I always check the community moderators and see if they're trusted. And then I'm gonna quickly check the posts that they make, alright? So meaning, how often do they make these posts and how much engagement are they getting? So you wanna see that people are liking their posts and people are reposting, and we can see that's happening here. Okay, so for the conclusion, if the token seems weird in any way, meaning the holders are weird, the chart shape is weird, the community Twitter is weird, the admins are weird and you don't trust them, then no one is forcing you to buy that token. You have to understand, you can't predict every meme coin pump and every meme coin that's going to moon. Most of meme coin traders are degens. You don't know what's going through their mind. You don't know if they're in a happy mood today or they're in a shit mood today. You don't know that. Sometimes they're buying dumbass coins, sometimes they're buying good coins. You don't know that. All you have to do is minimize your risk and buy coins that have a hype, a narrative, or attention flowing to it. Because if a coin doesn't have attention, then it's not going to pump. If the coin is boring, if the devs are boring, if they don't post, if they're not chilling, if the community is not working for their bags, if any of that doesn't happen, then I hate to break it to you, but the coin is not going to bounce. You can't buy a token and expect some kind of miracle. Yes, some tokens stay at like 100k market cap and then suddenly pump to 100 mil. You can't predict that in any way, alright? If you truly see that the coin has potential, maybe you could. Maybe you're some kind of insider, but I guess you're not watching this video then. But always remember that don't FOMO. Don't see a token and say, oh, why didn't I predict that? Why did I fade that? Well, take it as a lesson, alright? If you fade a token and it pumps, be honest with yourself and don't beat yourself up. See if you could have actually predicted the token. Maybe you missed something. Maybe you missed that the developer was actually, very famous. I don't know. Let's say hypothetically a Fortcoin developer. Alright? So if you missed something that you could have seen before, then take it as a lesson. Alright? Don't go crying, don't go beating yourself up, and don't go revenge trading for that. Or FOMOing into the same token and end up losing, I don't know, 30% of your bag. Alright? Please don't do that. Take every mistake as a lesson. That I just showed you, my ways of researching. This is all about common sense. See all the information that you can, and that's pretty much it. It's not hard, it's about common sense. Most meme coin traders and YouTubers overcomplicate it. It's not that hard, alright?